Music is your DNA. It's your purpose, your motivator, your catalyst. My name is Alex J, and I'll be your tour guide onto the journey towards your new professional music career. Join me as we uncover the music industry's secrets. From creative concepts to business and marketing, here are the keys to the next level. Welcome to the Music Chop Shop. What's up, everybody? Alex J here again for another episode of the Music Chop Shop podcast, where we break down the music industry one slice at a time. I want to thank you for tuning in one more time. We come at you every Friday with the episodes for the Music Chop Shop podcast. These podcasts are designed for all music makers, regardless of their level, whether they're starting out or they're professionals already in their craft, to hopefully empower them and take their entire career to the next level. Whether it's helping with getting you through a mental roadblock, or helping you, with technology, or making more money. There's going to be, every episode is going to bring different tools, and we're also going to have some incredible guests, which kind of expand on different concepts that we talked about together and this journey with the podcast. Okay. I want to recap on what we've been talking about so far. We started in episode 1, which if you haven't seen, I highly encourage you to check it out. We designed this idea of the dream store and 3 different archetypes of people and how they achieve or try to achieve their goals. We talked about the first archetype, the example, which was the window shopper, which is the type of people that, they approach the dream store. They see dreams from outside, from a third-party outsider's perspective, but they're too scared to go in and actually try to get it because of many reasons. They doubt themselves a lot, and so that's the first archetype. The second archetype we talked about was the cheapskate, or that person who's maybe has what it takes and has the resources to go get their dreams, but again, they're either super cheap about it and they sabotage themselves so they don't end up getting what they want. They maybe get a lesser version of what they wanted, but not really the full-blown potential of who they can be and what they can do. And in this episode, we're talking about my favorite archetype, which is the investor. And the investor is that person who knows the value of time, who invests everything they have into their idea, but without their demise. And we're going to talk about that later when we talk about the pain points of being an investor. But someone who invests is somebody who yields return, somebody who can enjoy the fruits of their labor. And I think that's where we all need to head at, whether you're doing music or not. But it's very important that we know the value of time. We start investing time. And the point of this archetypes, and why even talk about this kind of frameworks or mental frameworks, is to, one, illustrate the possibilities in positive cases like this one, or in prior ones, illustrate the pain points, and hopefully it helps you evolve forward. Or maybe we talk about a specific thing you normally didn't think about it that way, or something we said triggered you to do something different. And that's the whole point of why we're starting with this kind of like philosophical approach for the beginning 5 episodes, which is this part of this series. Okay. A really important point about being an investor is answering this following question. Are you a music entrepreneur or are you not? Because investing, it's a big word. When you're pursuing a career in professional music, you definitely have to invest, but that's not all you have to do. You got to act on it. Okay. And that goes to say for everything, for your craft, for your professional relationships. Basically everything that you do needs to have a weight and a space in your calendar. Okay. So, and that all begins obviously by knowing the value of your time, because if you know the value of your time, you know when to say yes or no. You shouldn't say yes to everything, and you shouldn't say no to everything. You gotta have a little radar or a good filter for when things are beneficial to you, and you always gotta think of that in mind. But not from a place of, oh, am I making a lot of money from this? Like, am I like doing like 10x returns? No, you should, something that's valuable to you, something that you want to dedicate your time. That if you put your time in a number, would you pay? So if you have somebody trying to come and have a part of the time of your time, is that moment worth it? So let's say if you value your time at $100 an hour, right? And there's an activity that's gonna take away your time, and is it producing you $100? I mean, that's one way to look at it. Maybe it's too based on financials, and I wouldn't base every decision financially because we're artists and we're looking at emotion and other things. But it's important for us to create some kind of a framework or some kind of reference point where we know the value of our time, how valuable our time is, and that will help you kind of ease the decision of yes or no. Should I answer the phone? Should I not? Should I pursue this? Should I just kind of be stubborn about a goal or not? And it starts with knowing the value of time. Okay. Same goes with relationships. You don't build bridges and you don't build amazing things with other people from a handshake or just like saying hi to them in an elevator. You need to invest in getting to know them and them getting to know you. You might be an amazing person, super talented, great, but if you don't relate yourself to others, you don't create rapport, you're never going to get anywhere. Because if you look at any example of people that you love, of people who are high level or high achievers, they all have an amazing network of people and a team that enables them to elevate their game, and they open up doors for other people as well. So, and I think, especially at that level, it's all about balance, right? And that's something that we all have to get better at, which is balancing the important stuff and the non-important stuff, because all of it is part of the journey. So, like, you can't be successful if you don't wake up, right? If you're sleeping all day, right? It might seem like it's something like we all do it. It's irrelevant, but it is relevant because you need to sleep in order to rest to be able to tackle the entire day, right? And if you don't sleep, you don't get stuff done. So if you sleep all day and you don't have balance, then yeah, you're gonna achieve some things, but you're not gonna have, a chance over somebody who's organized and has control of their time. So same thing, if you're all day just creating music, but you don't go out and meet people and show them what you do, or you don't talk about what you do because you feel insecure or any other excuse that you might have personally with yourself or with others, then you're missing out on your own success. So it's a balance. It's a balance of things, and it's hard because a lot of us are sensitive and creative, and sometimes you're an introvert, you're not an extrovert, you're not one of those people like I'm gonna go out and meet people, and sometimes it might be hard. And it's knowing your boundaries initially. You shouldn't be limited by them, but you should at least know them, because if you know your limits, you can do something about it. You can work on them and you can expand that limit more and more. But it literally goes or centers into having a balance. Doing everything at the right time. Obviously, setting a priority on the important things that are immediate, right? Like you need to eat, you need to sleep, you need to work on getting money every month to pay bills. That's immediate. But that doesn't mean like all the other stuff should be on the sidelines, because a lot of people, they get stuck on that idea. They never actually act on it. So don't get stuck in investing, because you can go, let's say you want to be a music producer and you invest in software, you invest in this, you invest in that, and then you're investing in all these things, and you're putting money left and right everywhere, right? And you got something that's super nice, like a nice studio, nice music, but that just kind of gets stuck there. And the way to grow and to create an environment that enables you to rise, you need to act on what you're investing in, and then moving forward, okay? And investing in yourself is not only in like stuff that you need in order to achieve your goals, but investing in your own time, on your own happiness, on, like we spoke before, on like getting some rest and being balanced. That's all super, super important. That being said, with being an investor, you might be stuck in just like investment mode, or you're putting a lot of time and money into an activity or a goal, but you feel like you're stuck or you're never where you want to be, and you see other people kind of having success, and you're like, man, but what's going on with me? Like, I don't know I can't seem to point a finger into what I'm doing wrong, and I definitely want to do something about it. Okay, I'm gonna give you some tips on that. Okay, the first tip that I can give you in order to kind of like reset your framework is whatever goal you set or whatever task that you have, finish it. So if you start something, finish it. So finish what you start. That'll be my tip number one. Tip number two is stick to your deadlines. A lot of people, and that is not exclusive to music, but a lot of people just say, oh, I'm going to do this by this time. Right? Oh, I'm going to release my next EP by, January 2021. And then January 2021 comes, right? And guess what? There's no EP, there's no music because of X, Y, and Z, because of pandemic, coronavirus, Christmas, whatever, a million excuses, and then you didn't stick to your deadline. So, you get used to saying you're going to do something, but you're not following through. So if you stick to your deadline and you try to do it, and you do it, not only trying, then you're going to see, you're going to learn a lot from that. A lot of people, they have the goal in front of them, they have what it takes, but they just don't commit to it enough. You got to be dedicated to what you're doing. And that starts with sticking to your deadline. So, and it also tied to the next tip, which is living by your calendar. You need to get your time on a schedule, on a calendar. You can visually see it. And if you're slacking or you're going different, you need to get reminders about the stuff that's important to you and move by that calendar. Basically all this stuff is trying to get you organized in order for you to have control over your time, because the problem with creative stuff is that we don't put time on creative stuff. And you can go by your whole life being creative, and it's almost endless, right? If you're creative, you can create all day. Like if you don't set a deadline, if you don't draw a line where it ends, it can go on forever, right? So, and we can't just be creating all day. Creation is a part of what we do, but it's not all of what we do. So it's good to get into the habit of delegating time for specific activities. If you don't do that right now, I highly suggest that you do it. If you already do it, then just pay more attention to your calendar, okay? And the last tip I'm going to give you, if you're in a place where like, man, Alex, I finished what I started, I stick to my deadlines, and I have a calendar, but I can't seem to break the barrier, then at that point you're in need of a team. You need to delegate what you do or parts of the things that you do so you can do more things, and that you need to research really great people and call them in and let them be a part of your team on your vision, and then grow with them, because if you're doing 10 things at the same time, it's hard to do 12 or 15 or 25. So you can get them to do part of it while you do the others, and then you can grow. Obviously, that comes at a price, obviously, both time and money. So, but yeah, I see a lot of people who are on the right path, but they're kind of hitting that wall, and it's about getting more eyes on the prize and getting more people on board. So yeah, definitely think about the creation of the team, and that happens often. A lot of people they feel like they invest into something and you don't get exciting results and people give up. Like, don't give up. Okay, there's so many examples of people not committing to the deadline. If you follow my story, I've been running Noisematch Studios, which was a commercial recording studio I started in 2010, right? And I've worked on a bunch of different projects, and it was a very slow and progressive build where there's so many times that even you say, oh, you look at the studio, you're like, man, but of course opportunity is going to come your way when you're a good musician and you got tools and stuff, but it's not that easy. You got to invest in a lot of things in order for you to see the opportunities that you want. And even the vision, what I imagined my goal to be, it's shifted so much through the years. And there weren't exciting results for a long, you do like one exciting thing and then there might be a long time before you see another one. Like, we won a Grammy with Alejandro Sanz and I got a plaque for it. My first project ever in the recording studio, it was amazing. But then there was a lot of sessions between that are like, independent sessions where I'm just like helping people through. Sometimes I'm not even being creative. Sometimes it's just like a hotel. People are coming in the door and I'm helping them record. And, so there's all these types of flavors of things that are not exciting. I mean, to me, they're exciting because anything in music is exciting. But let's say if your goal was more of a vanity thing, like, oh, my goal is I want to be a producer and win a Grammy. And if you're chasing that ghost, you're going to be unhappy. And I think part of my success, part of the reason why I'm so happy is because I've been able to have a sincere goal of making professional music in my life. I'm not trying to get placements. I'm not trying to get Grammys. I'm not trying to go the extra mile to just try to impress people. Like, I am who I am, love it or hate it. And, by being myself, I've achieved those Grammy things, those plaque things, those connection things, just because I'm genuine and I can hang. So, that being said, I have invested a lot of time in relationships and just hanging with people. I really care about people when they're not only in my studio, but if I'm meeting someone, I really genuinely care about what they have to say, whether it benefits me or not. That's the main difference. A lot of people, they focus on is this beneficial for me? Like, is this guy going to provide me this? Is this girl going to provide me that? Or I'm not really thinking that way. I'm thinking about how much value can I provide to the other person that's in front of me right now, and and listening to what they got to say, because it might be really interesting. There's so many types of flavors of people in the world that we can't necessarily know them all. So as long as we do active listening and we are open about things, the world has so many things to contribute to our life. So don't sabotage yourself. Just be open, because all those things that you want, all those big goals that you have, they're out there. You want a crazy studio like this, it's yours. You just got to go out there and get it. You want an amazing car or a house or millions of dollars, it's out there. But it starts with your mentality. It's with your mental framework. You need to start knowing that in order to get there, you need to invest heavily into yourself. You're going to get inspired by what you do, but it's going to hurt. It's going to hurt your pocket. It's going to hurt you. It's going to take time off of you. You're going to have to do a lot of sacrifice, especially if the goal is big, right? Small goals have small investments, but big goals require big investment. So just know that it's not easy, And when you're down, you feel like you're failing and you want to quit. In that moment, that's where you remember that your journey is the most important thing, and that it is going to be hard. And, a lot of people, goals are this is a very common example where you're climbing up a mountain with a rock, right? And then there comes the tipping point or the top of the mountain, and then you don't have to push anymore, and then the rock just falls down and creates this crazy havoc, right? So a lot of the climb or the uphill battle, it feels like that. You're pushing a huge rock. It's annoying. You want to quit. It's pushing you down. You're pushing up. You're tired. You can't feel your arms. But then it gets to a point where you just by the habit of just doing that, and then you push the rock down the cliff. You want to feel a relief because you don't have to push anymore. But then two, you're super strong to climb down, and then you can tell the story about how you went through that journey. So that requires a framework of positivity, knowing the value of time, and investing heavily. Okay, so if you're in a point where you feel like you're hit a wall, always go back to, am I investing enough time and resources to my goal? Am I doing that successfully? A lot of the times, a lot of people have goals, but they're not dedicated enough to see them through. So if you want to get to those goals, just commit to the goal. And believe me, 100%, if you commit as hard as I think you're going to commit to your goals, because if you wouldn't be here if you're not committing to your goals, and big goals too. I think you're going to be in for a real treat, and it's going to be surprising to you like as it was for me. What I changed my framework long time ago, and I wanted to quit music. It happened 3 or 4 times, and it's got to a really dark place where I didn't find myself, and I said, well, why am I doing this? Like, I don't know if this is what I want to do. I didn't get into music to do this stuff. Like, I was getting a lot of people, connected to a lot of people, but not a lot of opportunities coming my way. So I felt like down. And the moment I switched my mentality to, you know what, I'm not investing the resources in where I need to invest them. I just need to put more time into what makes me happy. And that's what I did. And this is the result, guys. So I hope this inspires you, and you keep trucking to your goal. Okay. So that being said, thank you for tuning in. We'll be back next Friday with another episode of the Music Chop Shop. I'm super excited because we're gonna have a lot of really cool guests coming in to the podcast and a lot of really cool topics. I want to leave you off with reminding you that we have the recaps of all the episodes, both audio and video, and really cool resources like free software and whatever we talk about in the podcast episodes in our website, which is musicmastermind.com/resources. That's it for today. I'm going to sign off. Love you. See you next Friday for the next episode of the Music Chop Shop podcast. Boom.